Tonight, the Peters Township Public Library is hosting a panel of Vietnam veterans. They're here to discuss the Ken Burns PBS documentary, The Vietnam War. We have over 100 people here to watch the program. Let's see what they think about it.
Good evening. My name is Myra Olenek, and I'm the director here at the Peters Township Public Library. I want to welcome all of you here to our evening of our Vietnam Veterans Discussion Panel. Before we get into the logistics of tonight, I do want to explain a few things about our other Vietnam programming this year. We have, first of all, over to your right, we have a series of videos that are playing. Jim McNutt and Diane Leone from the Peters Township Library Foundation have worked very closely with local Vietnam veterans. There are 8 stories. They're not all veterans, but they have stories that relate to memories of the Vietnam War. And so beyond our refreshment table, we hope that you will take the opportunity. If not tonight, come back because we'll have it set up here in the center of our lobby. And we'd certainly love for you to hear their stories. They were kind enough to share, and Jim and Diane have done a fabulous job of editing them and asking just the right questions to get wonderful stories. So that's going to be playing. Also, another part of the logistics tonight, speaking of Jim and Diane, Jack and Diane, Jim and Diane, we are, if you would be interested and you wanted to share any of your impressions afterwards, Jim and Diane are going to be looking for your impressions, short little memories, or not necessarily memories of the war, but impressions of tonight. So they're going to be coming around with the microphone and would certainly welcome that. Also, speaking of the Vietnam War, we mentioned that tonight's program will reflect on episodes 1 and 6 of the Ken Burns documentary series. Between now and November, we're going to cover all the episodes, and we'll have on our website the different times that they'll be playing upstairs in our reading room. So if you haven't had a chance to watch the series, or there were certain episodes that you missed, please check our website and come and join us for more of the documentary. And what that will all lead up to, speaking of Vietnam, is in November, we're bringing the author, thanks to our Peters Township Library Foundation, we're bringing the author of The Things They Carry, that is Tim O'Brien. He'll be joining us November the 8th, so we hope you'll save the day. We've given you some little takeaways tonight. Put that on your refrigerator. Tickets are going to go on sale in June, perfect for Father's Day. And if you would want to purchase the book, we have them on sale at our desk tonight, and we'll have them on sale all through the summer. But we'll have a pre-event price, so we certainly hope if you'd like to read the book before Tim O'Brien comes. He is also a Vietnam veteran. This is one of those classics of American literature that really looks back at a very important part of history, and Tim shares his impressions through fiction, but definitely based on a lot of his experiences.
Thank you all for coming out on an unseasonably chilly April night to talk about the Ken Burns series, Vietnam War, with 4 distinguished Vietnam veteran panelists. I'm Todd. I'm the director of the Veterans Breakfast Club. My job tonight is to keep the peace and moderate the discussion. I would assign Martin Luther King's speech.
What will you remember about tonight's program?
I think the most memorable and the thing that we could all take forward is that these guys recognize the commonalities between them and the people they were fighting after all those years. The recognition that they have the exact same story from their different perspectives, and how that helped them feel less hatred toward the enemy because now they see them as fellow warriors.
The impact of every person that served in Vietnam and how it would affect the home front as well, all the families. Just a really deep conflict that cut deep. And it was just really interesting to see all the different impressions of the war and how it affected everybody differently.
I think any war's terrible. I'm not pushing it. But they try to make Ho Chi Minh and his people in North Vietnam like a bunch of Boy Scouts. They weren't. If you read anything about communism, Ho Chi Minh, Fidel Castro, Mao Zedong, Joseph Stalin, you read about what these people, they killed millions of people, not just 1 or 2. They're terrible people, and that's what we were trying to fight against.
And is it helpful to hear the other vets talk about it at a program like this?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
What I actually took with me the most is a sense of understanding, because my father was a veteran, but he passed away before we ever had the chance to talk about it much, because much like many of these gentlemen tonight, it wasn't talked about, and it wasn't something he was comfortable talking about. So I never had the chance to ask so many questions, and now as an adult, I want to know. And so events like this, for me and for my generation, I think are so crucial, and I'm so excited to have been able to be here and hear these stories and different perspectives, and just the communal understanding that a civilian could never truly understand, but to try to hear all these different perspectives really gives it such incredible meaning. It's the closest any of us who did not serve can come to understanding.
Thank all the veterans and others who showed up tonight to contribute and to listen, and to our esteemed panelists, who were all very civil. Thank you.